This is our Wednesday night channeling class number 205. Let's have a quiet time before we start. Just close our eyes, relax our bodies, still the mind, and feel the power of peace and divine love. Let's fill this room to overflowing with God's love, light, healing power, and the presence of peace.
And
welcome all those who are with us from other dimensions, and send them God's love. And as our circle of light gets brighter and brighter, we lift our consciousness and our thoughts to a much higher level. And those who come from the higher dimensions reaching down to make the contact with us. And we know that they're here. Thank you, Father. We had a little more writing tonight on our class. Tonight is on wisdom. And this was requested by someone from last night's class. Wisdom is the food of the gods that you are. To reach again the wisdom of God that dwells within you, you have chosen to lower your vibrations to match that of the level of the lower dimensions, one of which you inhabit, and through many experiences of illusion called duality, play many roles of personas until you, through much pain caused from the false concept that you are separated from the one life, the source, awaken to the realization that you have never been separated, that it is impossible for you to separate yourself from the one life that you are, the source of your existence. From your present point of view, not remembering the reality of your God self fully, you acquire wisdom through experience. As you have heard, you do not know anything until you experience it. Through the lower vibrations you are presently looking through, your conscious awareness is very limited as to your true identity. Therefore, you are climbing the ladder of wisdom through experience realized. Experience that gives you the wisdom of that which is eternal, real, eternally real, and eliminating that which is illusion, raising your consciousness above and beyond the lower dimensions you no longer need. Experience can come through trial and error of the physical plane, or it can come through tuning out the physical vibrations of illusion and going within, such as meditation, again and again, until the experience of illumination, until you have the experience of illumination. I'll get it right.
the building block of fame.
Good evening, my dear ones. This is Don, coming to you from these realms of love and light. It is a pleasure to be your doorkeeper and to be of service to you. It is my pleasure to greet you on these Wednesday nights and to be here in your presence. There are many others in your circle tonight that are not visible to your physical eyes, and there are several higher beings of light so bright that your physical eyes could not stand the brightness. Our lesson tonight will be brought by Aloha. God is blessing you, my beloveds, and there are many others here who are blessing your steadfastness in coming to this circle, giving them the opportunity to sit in. You know not how many there are, but there are many more than you think, who are receiving instruction and understanding from this side of the veil. This class tonight on wisdom is one of higher vibration, and it is one that when you reach the edges of true wisdom, you are on your way to being completely free from these realms of illusion. You who sit in this circle are touching the edges of true wisdom, my dear ones. You are intellectually learning this. You are moving into a knowing of the truth of life. Knowing and wisdom are closely related words, and as you reach into yourself, where you will find the true wisdom and the knowing of who you truly are, as you learn to do this, as you understand the reality of your being, by learning to identify with the physical plane in a much different way. And when I say this, I mean see things from your two physical eyes as if you are looking from the single eye. Look at the physical plane and look through and beyond the illusions that are there all the time. When you see and hear things that seem so-called bad, are not in tune and harmony with the life forces, know that this is a schoolroom and that all these on this plane are learning and growing. You would be amazed if you knew how many are waiting to go through the birth and rebirth cycle of your planet Earth. There are so many who are involved with your planet. As you have been told, there are 4 to 5 times as many in between incarnations as there are in the physical most of the time. As you learn to see more clearly the truth of life within your being, within your consciousness, then can you see the truth of life on your physical plane. You see more clearly and understand that life is as it is everywhere present, and by your resistance to it does not change it, it only harms you. And through wisdom of understanding, understanding is another word that is closely related to wisdom and knowing. Through understanding the laws of eternal life and knowing that what happens on the physical plane is truly just a play, and it is happening for a definite purpose, for the experience of those who inhabit this planet. You who have gone a little ahead of the masses see more clearly, and it is tempting when you get to a certain place to be critical in your thoughts and to be a little sensitive about things that appear to be happening around you. Judge not by appearances, my beloveds. This is a part of wisdom. By understanding that everything and everyone is in their right place at all times. You are where you need to be for the growth and understanding that you need, and everyone else on this planet and in between incarnations are also, even though they appear to be going the wrong direction for their soul's growth. In true reality, when you see it from a much higher level, you understand that these are lessons they need to have to bring them around after so many lifetimes or centuries or even longer sometimes, to opening the inner eye to see the truth. If you in this room knew all of your past history and could see all of the experiences that you have gone through, you would understand more clearly. As we said in the writing, there are two ways of gaining wisdom, but it would appear that you need so much experience, at least most individual expressions of life do, need some experience in the lower dimensions to bring them about through inner contact with their higher self, with the God within them, with the reality of their being, and thus receive illumination. Illumination is a time when you have come to a point of knowing that gives you the wisdom of understanding life as it truly is. And when this illumination dawns upon your consciousness, then you do know, and you understand, and it comes from within you. No one else can give it to you. You may receive guidelines. You may watch other people and learn from their mistakes, and you may have so-called mistakes, and you may have many experiences that help you to realize the direction that you wish to go in. But in the final analysis, it is only you, my dear ones, who can bring about this word that you call wisdom. Wisdom is the food that feeds your soul. It is the spiritual understanding of life. There are many ways to feed your soul on the physical plane, but wisdom is the highest. I should say one of the highest things that feed your soul. You see, my dear ones, when you began this work without too much understanding, you moved into greater understanding, and you felt better about yourself. You felt better about life, and this has brought you to a place of understanding more about yourself and given you a leverage to work with on this physical plane that makes it much easier for you on your sojourn through this incarnation. And as you move higher in consciousness through your studies, through experiences, and through learning from these experiences, then do you gain a little more wisdom. Wisdom is a growing experience. It is not static. It is not something that you reach and you have arrived and there's nowhere else to go. It is an experience. It is a state of consciousness, I should say, that you get a little here, a little there, until you have enough that you can be the master of yourself, and thus the master of these lower dimensions. Wisdom is understanding, being wise to what truly is and what is not. Most of the things that you experience on this physical plane is illusion. And you are learning now to separate the illusions from the reality that you're beginning to know in your consciousness. You slip back at times, but you come forward again. And as you move higher in consciousness through trial and error, through the work that you're doing in your classes, and as you have a greater light to see by, you are able then to add to the wisdom that you are building on. It is like building a pyramid, you might say, and you build it block by block. And as you move upward to the point of the top crown of the pyramid, then you receive the illumination. And it is as David said in the Psalms in your Bible, I am anointed with oil, and my cup runneth over. And the oil represents the divine light. In those days, oil was one of the most precious things that they had for cleansing and for using to keep their body in a good shape. And so this word was used to in the place of divine light. And when you are anointed with the Christ light, as Jesus the man was anointed in his Christhood when John the Baptist baptized him. Then he received his illumination and was Christed and knew the reality of his being. You have been told that he already had this understanding, but he went through this role, playing this role, to give you a pattern to go by. And there was a time before the incarnation that you understand, you are aware of, when he truly received the illumination for the first time on this cycle. The contact is a little slow tonight. Let us pause for a moment and send God's love into the contact. There are times when the vibrations are not just right in the channel, and it is a little difficult to get through the language to bring about the right words to give you the understanding of what we wish to convey to you. Pay no attention to this, but accept what you can receive and be grateful for it. For it truly is a blessing to have this kind of experience that you're having at this moment, to sit in a circle of light and to be taught by these beings from these levels of divine love and light that God is using to speak directly to you in a sense. For it is true that God speaks through us, even as I am speaking through this channel called Donald, and you are receiving it in your language. God speaks to us in the universal language that is not understandable to you on your level, but you will reach a place where you will be able to comprehend the universal language. As we move into this lesson on wisdom, let us think about those who are not wise to the reality of life, those who are almost complete materialistic, you might say, and think only of the material world and know no other in their conscious awareness. You who are reaching higher are learning that there are many, many mansions in our Father's house, and you are moving into these many mansions. Be patient with yourselves as you are straddling, shall we say, two worlds. You are working in the physical world. You are experiencing the physical plane, that you are reaching also for the higher dimensions. And the physical plane is pulling at you with its negative vibrations to pull you back. And as you become wise to the laws of life and your true identity, then you can ignore. Ignore may not be the right word, but you will not have to attend to the negative vibrations, and you give more attention to the reality of being, and thus you are more free to move higher in consciousness. My dear ones, as you grow in your level of consciousness, you are able to accomplish so much more in your understanding and make your physical life much easier for you. All in this room have seen this change, and you have understood the great changes that are coming about in you and that have already come about in you and others that you know. There are many, many small groups around the world who are bringing the wisdom of God through channels such as this in a particular way that particular group can comprehend at that time in their growth and move higher as they move forward. It is all the same truth, but sometimes it is approached from a different way so that those who are attracted to that circle of light can understand what is being presented in a way that will give them the wisdom that they need. Shall we pause for a minute and let you ask questions and open the door for you to bring in your light of understanding, or to ask questions, if you will. Feel free to participate in this ongoing program, that you may add to it your light, no matter whether it is a question or an understanding that you already have, or it is something that you need more light on. It is when you give of yourself through participation, then do you add more light to the circle of light, for you are giving of yourself by allowing yourself to express your views and to participate in the way that you would like to.
It seems that our growth in wisdom is quite slow at times, but it is reassuring to feel that we're very secure in it.
Yes, you are all secure in it because you are dedicated. All that are here are dedicated to moving higher, to holding on to what you have and adding to it. And as you do, you see, you get a little more light, and then you get a little more light. And if you can picture this in your mind, each building block that you add to your pyramid of wisdom gives you more light to see by. And this makes everything more clear to your understanding. We're using this example in several ways, but you know that if you have a 25-watt bulb, you have so much light. If you have a 50-watt bulb, a 100-watt bulb, and so on, you can see more clearly what you are doing. And it is the same with your spiritual growth, with the understanding that you have. And as you build it into your consciousness, then the divine light is built in with it, and it gives you the ability to understand more, to see more clearly with the inner vision. And as you do, then you become wiser to the reality of life. Are there other comments that you would make?
I would like to express gratitude for the fact that what we gain in wisdom and understanding, we don't often lose. We keep it, fortunately.
Yes. You slip back at times, and you allow the little self or the illusions of the world to come in and take its place for a while. But those of you, and all of you, are truly dedicated, and you will not allow this for very long, and you come back to the understanding that you have, and again start building upon it. When you go to school on your physical plane, you go to the first grade and you learn what is there, and the second grade, and so on, until you come to the 12th grade and you receive your diploma. And then you might go on to higher learning. And in life, my dear ones, the reality of life, there is no end to learning and growing and adding to your wisdom. There will always be more to understand, because life is continually expanding and bursting into more of itself. And as you move higher, you are able to see more of life. You are able to comprehend it. And I would say to you that most of you have read the life and teachings of the Masters of the Far East. You will be able to do these things that these masters, that you read about them doing, while you are still in the physical, if you so desire. If it is your desire to reach that level of consciousness and wisdom, then you can do this. And in small ways, you are already doing this. You know not how much you are adding to your comfort, to your ability to live in this physical plane in a much easier way, because you are too close to yourself. And as you grow, as you receive more understanding, things fall into place in your life in a much easier way. And it is because that you have more light to see by, and the light that is in your consciousness is shining forth from you and is projecting itself ahead of you, giving you the understanding and the path to move into. The dimension of awareness that you are operating on, and all of you are at a different dimension of awareness at all times, because you are all individuals, expressions of life, of God. You are different than anyone else. So none of you are at the same place in your soul's growth and never will be, but you are where you are, and by accepting where you are with gratitude and using the positive energy that maybe in the past you have used to resist life, to grow more. You see, you add to your building blocks of wisdom. You add to more light to come forth into your consciousness so that you see more clearly, you understand, and you have a greater contact through your conscious awareness, shall I say, that's coming through from your higher self. I should say through your higher self, from God Himself. You see, the light is always there. It is a matter of realizing it and being aware of it and utilizing it. The wisdom of all the ages is always there at your command. And when you are able to believe this and believe it possible for you, then it comes forth into your conscious awareness, and you have it to utilize as you go through your physical life, but you also have it at your times that you set aside to go within and have that beautiful and wonderful contact with the Father of all life. I tell you, my dear ones, take time to set aside some of your day to have with the Father. And as you do this consistently, and at the same time, if possible, you grow into a greater awareness of God's presence within you. And this is one of the greatest things that brings about another building block in your wisdom, is becoming more aware of God's presence within you, realizing it and hanging on to it as you go through your day, doing everything that you do as unto God, realizing that God is the source of your supply and all your needs. It appears to come through this one or that situation or something else that is physical, but in true reality, my dear ones, without the life force that flows from God Himself, nothing on any dimension would exist. So everything that you have, the ability to think, the ability to see, all of these things come from the one source. And as you become more acquainted with this one source, as you become more aware that this one source is within you, and that you are unlimited in power and wisdom through this one source, then all things are possible for you. It is the lack of understanding of mankind on your plane, for the most part, that he tries to do things from his human self, from the persona, the personality, the physical self, when it has no power of its own without the power of God animating it. And as you make this contact with the God within you, you become more aware, and God speaks to you most of the time without language, but he gives you the knowing, the understanding, and the wisdom of the truth of life, and brings more light as you open to it. In true reality, God is holding out his whole kingdom to you at all moments of time as you think of time, and all you need do is reach and take it. You reach within, because that is where it is. It is difficult for you to think of within when you have been so aware of the outer. But the outer, my dear ones, is a very, very small part of life. The inner is the reality. And as you can turn loose of the misunderstandings about what life is and what it's not, then you take on the true understanding. And you get this from within. And when I say this, I could say you get it from God, for he is the source of all that is. And as you realize that the Father, Mother, God has a great, great desire to give you his whole kingdom, and that is his greatest desire, is to bring you into a greater understanding, a greater wisdom of his presence within you, and to receive the love to the best of your ability that he has for you. When you can comprehend this a little more each day, then you add another building block to your pyramid of wisdom. Wisdom is the understanding of life. It is the food that feeds the soul, and it is fed from wisdom. Wisdom, we could say, is that attribute of God that you call divine light. Light is a symbol in your language of understanding, and understanding is the foundation of wisdom. Through the foundation that you build through your many experiences, and sometimes your small illuminations that you have as you learn to go within, you acquire more of this divine light and feed your soul. As you feed your soul, it grows. It grows larger, and it becomes more of your understanding of life as it truly is. Those who do not feed their soul shrivels up into a small little thing that is still there and will always be there until it is nourished through the many ways of feeding your soul, and then it comes forth. You have been feeding your soul. You have nourished it through the understanding that you have been given and that you have built into your consciousness. And as you continue to do this, then your soul shines brighter and brighter. let us pause again for a time of questions or comments, if you will. Feel free to make comments.
It's almost as if this lesson was kind of tailor-made for the occasion. It's heavy material, but it's very appropriate, and it's material we needed, and there's a temptation to sit back and try to digest it. It's much needed. I needed it. And I feel it's information that I'll be able to do a great deal with. It's helping me a great deal in my growth.
Yes, all is there for your benefit. Even that which seems to be negative is truly for your benefit when you can see clearly. But when you still believe in the concept of duality, then you are pulled two different ways. You are striving to be the spiritual being that you are, but feel that you are still a part of the illusionary world, and allow guilt and self-condemnation and these kinds of things to come in to usurp your light and your life force. When this happens to you, my dear ones, immediately send God's love into it to cancel it out and turn toward the understanding and the light that you have, and ask God for more understanding and more light. And send love into yourself and into your consciousness, that you may, that God's love will help you to utilize the light that you have to bring in more light. You know not the power of God's love. It is all-wise and all-powerful. And when you use it for the world and the universe, but lavishly use it for yourself, my dear ones. For you see, as you grow into a higher consciousness and more wisdom, you are a greater channel for God's love to flow through to all things. Are there other questions or comments that you would make?
I have a comment.
Yes.
About the time I get a question about half formulated, you answer it for me. Thank
Yes.
you. And I agree with Andy that the lesson tonight it seemed like it was tailor-made for what I needed because of the stage of growth that I'm at. I kind of am fighting and hopefully overcoming some of the negativity that I've brought about for myself. And I just wanted to thank you.
Yes. If I may, with love, ask you to eliminate this word fighting. It seems like a struggle to gain the spiritual understanding, but you see, when you can remember what the Master said, resist not evil, but overcome evil with good. More could be added to that statement. When we resist, we cause tension within ourselves. And I can see your thoughts that you did not exactly mean that word, but it came forth from you. So there is a truth in this. You are used to fighting and struggling and working hard for the things that you get in life. This has been your way for this incarnation, has it not?
Yes, sir.
And so, in your soul search, try to be more relaxed and at peace, and let it happen instead of, as Donald says, straining to make it happen. It will be easier for you. But I understand, because this is a pattern that is within you and in your physical life that you have you've gained much from in moving toward the things that you want. But I tell you, my dear, if you can, through wisdom, relax and be at peace, you can have all that you want and more, and without the struggle. I do not mean to criticize you in any way. This is given to you in true love, and it does not just apply to you. It applies to most on your plane, for they feel, most on the physical plane feel that they have to use their will and fight and struggle, and they believe in competition and so forth. And they most do it just from the physical level, not realizing that within them is the power of the whole universe. This is literally true, my dear ones. Within you is the power of all of life, and all you need do is to learn to relax and let it come forth. You first have to have the faith to try, and then when you have some experience, then you begin to believe. And as you gain more experience and demonstrate it in your life, then you have a knowing that is close to wisdom, and you build this into your consciousness. And you see, for example, when the Master fed the multitudes from the lad's lunch, he did not struggle to do this. He made contact with the source of all that is and brought forth. And as he continued to reach in to this package that this lad had, he continued to bring more fishes and more loaves of bread, and it fed the multitudes. And it is the same with you. As you reach within yourself, where the power truly is, where the wisdom truly is, then you can bring it forth into your outer life and be relaxed and at peace while doing it, knowing where it truly comes from, not from your physical, muscular strength, or even the strength of your conscious will, but from God Himself, the source of all that is. And as you learn to go within more often and get more acquainted with the love divine that God is and the wisdom that He is, then you realize that all that He is and has is yours, for you are one with Him truly. And it is a matter of learning to believe it, learning to know it, and build it into your pyramid of wisdom that gives you the understanding that you and God are one, and that you have access to all power and all wisdom. It is yours because you are a child of God. You have allowed yourself to drop down to these lower dimensions and forgotten your true reality of being. Purposely, you have done this to learn more and understand more as you move upward. And sometimes it seems like a long time to you. It seems like a great struggle. But my dear ones, it is only because you try to do it with the outer personality that has no power. And it is a matter of learning to reach within and allowing it to come from the source. God is always there and is always reaching out to you to give you everything that you want and that you desire, for that is the nature of life, is to give you everything that you want. There are times when you desire those things that seem to harm you, but in true reality, that is just another experience that you need for your growth, to realize that when you stick your finger in the fire, it burns, and so you learn to not do that. Are there other questions or comments this evening?
Thank you. I didn't take that as criticism, but I do appreciate the lesson.
Yes. God bless you.
I need to change the tape.
Yes.
I would like to express my gratitude, especially for this lesson and the material. It's well timed.
Yes. There are times when those of you, and there are many more in the inner circle of this particular group, who do not show their physical selves very often, or they are in a different class or something, and they have a desire for certain understanding, and we were able to reach the one that had a request for this particular subject, and so it came through. There are many ways for us to help you, but we have to be careful about your free will, and we would remind you of this often, to realize that we cannot just reach down and turn you around when you're going in the wrong direction, seemingly. It is your choice only, and should always be just your choice. In the halls of time, as you think of it, in the past, as you think of experiences, there have been those who controlled others through force, and they pay dearly with their karma that comes later. We who know the truth are very, very careful not to force anything upon you, but to give you only that which you ask. Remember to ask. Remember to be open so that you can have the intuition to know what to ask for. Donald is an instrument that we work through, and his past experiences other than this incarnation has given him the ability to draw on the intuition to bring forth the different titles that sometimes in this communication that are needed. You also can be channels to ask for certain lessons, certain titles of understanding. Remember this, and remember to ask often for the help that is all around you. Send God's love into those from these dimensions who are there to help you, often through the day, so that they can have the choice to help you. They always want to. That is their work, and that is their desire, and it gives them great pleasure when they can reach you and you can get the message from them, even if you think it's your idea. It matters not. You see, when you open the door, you receive much. Remember to open the door often, but only to these realms of love and light. Are there other questions or comments this evening?
Well, I do have another question. Since you made the comment about giving us what we asked for specifically, when we ask for guidance, and a lot of times we're given guidance, it's still us that makes the final choice to decide to take the advice and learn from it, or to not ignore necessarily, but not to utilize the advice.
Sometimes just to forget it. Yes, this is true. And your mind plays tricks on you at times, and this is why it is well to get better acquainted with your subconscious mind, as Donald calls it, and all dimensions of yourself, so that you use the time in your incarnation that you're here wisely and bring about the growth. And it is true, as you said, when you ask for help, there are times when you receive the answer, but then do not follow through with it. This is all right. Ask again when it comes to your mind. We will plant this in your aura, these things that you desire, for we do talk and communicate while you're resting from your body at night. And we know your desires. We know the things that are right in front of you for you to learn, the next step that you should take. And we place it in your aura, but you still have to respond and ask. And as your master teacher said, ask and you shall receive, seek and you shall find, knock and it shall be opened unto you. This is very important. And this makes the contact, you see, with these higher dimensions. And when as you go through your day, maybe you're driving your car and there's nothing particular to think of, ask for help. Ask the master teacher for help. Any of us that you think of, or just know that there are many around you who are helping you in different ways, and send God's love into all those around you that are from these dimensions. And this opens the door, and literally ask for help. You may not know what you need at this moment or the next step that is in front of you, because the world of illusion clouds your thinking and your sight. But you can ask to be shown, and you can ask that the next step be revealed to you. For example, I use Donald because you know him, and he is continually asking how he should improve his work, how to attract more to the center, the things to do to bring about a greater understanding, the things that he can do that will bring the light more brightly through this center to attract those who are open and ready and can benefit from this. You also might consider sending God's love out to attract more to the center and all other groups like it in the whole of life, for there are many, and there are some who are just on the edge of moving one way or the other, one way that will lead them upward, another way that will put them in a rut, that will deter them for a while. And God's love is all-powerful and all-wise, and if they are open to it, they can choose the way of light and speed up their growth through your choice to be a channel for God's love to flow through. There's much, much that you can do for the growth and for this planet. Send love into the planet to help stop the pollution and to heal the places of the pollution and the atmosphere. Send love to bring a greater understanding of the needs of the planet, and send love to bring about the clean energy that is needed for your planet, the next step in your planet's in the needs of your inhabitants of your planet, is to eliminate the energy that is polluting your planet. And there are many avenues of energy that can be brought forth. And as you send love to bring this forth, then it helps to speed up the time of accomplishment. This is utilizing your energies and your time wisely, and it can build another block in your pyramid of wisdom. Are there other thoughts or questions this evening? Much depends on many groups like yourself as we go into this time of great changes. And you are doing well by helping, by sending love. We commend you on this, and we love you very much. God bless each and every one of you, and good evening.
Thank you.
That was a tremendous lesson. You gotta listen to the tape.
You what?
That was a tremendous lesson. You've gotta listen to the tape.
Yes, I will.
It was good.
Seemed to be halting at first. But,
Only had one plug in the wall.
yeah, must have.
Nice.
Shall we stand? Walk hands. As we come together in the physical, let us sink a brain down the spiritual wisdom that we have received and building it into our consciousness. And let us send love out to bring wisdom to all those who desire it. Let us fill this room to overflowing with God's love, spreading out over the city, over this planet, going out to the whole universe. Let us know that God goes going ahead of us into this week, into our every thought, word, and deed, into every situation, into every encounter. Thank you, Father.